Today we're making a creamy herbed risotto with shrimp. And the great thing about this recipe, if you don't count oil and salt and pepper, which we assume everyone has on hand, this only has 5 ingredients in it, and it's really easy to make. So I have 450 grams of jumbo shrimp here, and if your shrimp isn't peeled, which these days you can usually get it peeled, no problem. You just peel off the shell like this. I grab the tail right here and then just pull, and it should all come off like one piece. And then you keep this little tail bit, which is nice. So we have a large skillet here. I'm just going to cook the shrimp first, and it only takes 2 minutes, so it goes really quickly. Start with a teaspoon of oil, and in go the shrimp. And that only takes a minute per side. So the shrimp are done. I'm just going to transfer that to a plate. So I'll add another 2 teaspoons of oil to the pan. This is arborio rice. And you just want to toast this in the pan for about a minute. So in this saucepan, I've heated up 2.5 cups of low sodium chicken broth and 1.5 cups of water. And I've just heated that up until it's steaming. And you want to make sure it's hot, otherwise this won't cook properly. I'm just going to add this to the rice grains, 1/2 cup at a time. And you just stir until it's absorbed. So just keep adding your broth mixture to the rice, stirring constantly until you've used up all the broth. So adding the broth a little bit at a time and cooking it until it's almost absorbed before you add the next batch allows the starch to come out really naturally and slowly, and it makes for a really nice creamy result, even though you're not adding any cream. So I'll just add the last little bit of broth and water. And as you can see, the grains here are pretty swollen, and they're also tender, but they are still a little bit firm inside, and you want a little bit of firmness. And I'm just going to let this cook for a minute or two, just until that broth is mostly absorbed, but it's still a little bit runny and soft. So now that it's right at the perfect stage, I'm adding 55 grams of herbed cream cheese. And this is just going to add some flavor, some nice herbed flavor, and make it really creamy. And I'll also add 1/2 cup of peas, frozen peas, just for a bit of color. And this part is purely optional. Doesn't count in the 5 ingredients, but a little bit of fresh pepper doesn't hurt. Now I'll just return the shrimp to the pan, just to warm it up. And if it's a little too thick, you can add up to 1/4 cup of water here too, just to thin it down. But I think this looks great. And let's plate it up. For more inspiring ideas, go to CanadianLiving.com.